You can be a maternity photographer, you've never been pregnant, and you say the most insensitive things to your pregnant client because you just don't understand what they're going through.
Sophia Barrett is a powerhouse portrait photographer whose art goes beyond the lens. Drawing from her personal journey, she captures the strength, beauty, and deep connections that define her subjects. Hailing from a small town in Massachusetts, she has built a thriving photography business in Atlanta, turning her passion and resilience into a remarkable career.
The entire time we're reminding them of how amazing, how beautiful, how powerful they are. So when they think back on their pregnancy and their maternity, like that period of time, this adds and adds on a really positive experience that they're able to look back on. And the reason why I like to elevate them and photograph them in ways that is powerful and sensual and beautiful and feminine and all of that, it's because.
Welcome again to Peculiar Conference 2024. I am here with Sophia Barrett. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What brought you to Peculiar?
The people. They are good people. Like, each time we're here, it feels like we're getting together with family. And I'm really passionate about being genuine and like teaching from a place of like, I really just want to make sure that you feel liberated to create, right? After you talk to me, creating whatever it is that you want to create. But I feel like the leaders of Peculiar are definitely, they have the same sentiment. They're as passionate.
I've heard that. I was talking to Emmanuel about it, and the word family and the fact that this is not just a 2 or 3 day thing is, given the fact that it's a collective, they stay in touch. They reach out to people. They make sure that everybody's doing okay. Something a lot different than some of the other events that I've been. I love imaging. I love some of these other events, but this is the first time I've seen this within the photography space, and it does feel like a really close group, but not like they're closed off to anybody.
No.
They're just, everybody's very close with one another.
Yeah. And once you're in, you're in. Like, everybody's together. Like, they will reach out to us at any time of the year, just check in with us, assist us, or give us support with things that we have going on. And it's just because they are just really good people.
I would agree. This is my first time coming. This is the first time experiencing Peculiar as a whole. I felt very welcome, and I really enjoy that quite a bit. Everybody's asking, everything okay? You doing good? Can we do anything for you?
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about your work. Because you don't just take pretty pictures. You do works of art, and I really respect that.
Thank you.
Because it's not just about the final output. You're putting a lot of thought and creativity behind anything that you're being tasked with. Could you walk me through what it's like to be in a session with you, especially, let's say, if you're building out a set or an essence of an image? What is that like with you?
What it's like for the client?
Yes. What is the client experience with you?
So what I mostly photograph is maternity. And more so, honestly, it's women who are coming in and celebrating something, because it's something that I'm really trying to push, where, we just want to photograph our weddings, our maternity sessions, and then after that, we might do a family portrait like once every 10 years or whatever, right? So I'm encouraging women to want to celebrate themselves more. But especially for maternity, before they come to the studio, usually they are even having second thoughts about being photographed because they don't feel like themselves. They don't feel like, they are familiar with their bodies because they're becoming familiar with what's going on, at that moment with them. Even if they've had children before, each pregnancy is a different pregnancy, and how you feel, how your body transforms is different. So when they come into the studio, we are really focused on creating an experience for them, one that makes them feel very comfortable, one that makes them feel like they can just be in their skin and walk around naked if they want to. Like, we want them to feel that comfortable in the space with us. So from the minute they sit down for hair and makeup, while Nikita is doing hair and makeup with them. Nikita is our resident hairstylist and makeup artist, and she has that same passion. Everyone who works in the studio with us has the same desires and passion, and that is to make that person feel like they are like amazing. So I really want them to sit in their power. So when they come in, they see the set, they get excited, they sit down, hair and makeup, they are starting to feel themselves, they look at their hair and they look at their makeup, we dress them. We don't let them get dressed by themselves. We dress them, we accessorize them, we lotion them up in case they're a little ashy, and the entire time we're reminding them of how amazing, how beautiful, right? Um, how powerful they are. While we're posing them, while we're directing them, we're continuing that same thing. So it's not just, oh, I look good. I have a pretty dress on. My makeup looks good. The background looks nice. It's the sticker was in my hair.
That's all.
It's very much like me pouring into everyone in the studio, pouring, 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 pouring into that client until they feel like, okay, I can do anything. Because when they truly lean into that, then I'm just getting killer shots the whole time. And instead of them just being excited about the picture, they're excited about everything. They're excited about the entire experience. So when they think back on their pregnancy and their maternity, like that period of time, this adds and adds on a really positive experience that they're able to look back on. Um, and that's something that's really important for us.
That empowerment that you give them through this very transformative phase in life. Could you tell me a story? I'm sure you've had many of a particular expectant mother that when they went through this journey with you, it just stuck with you. It's one of those core memories that have built in here that you'll never forget.
So I think I have a bunch of stories because unfortunately, that feeling is one that is very common. So, the story of like I was thinking of canceling the shoot. I was thinking of just, not doing it, but we spent so much time planning and I spent a buttload up. I'm already invested. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Um so they come and then we are able to turn that around for them. But one in particular, and I hope I don't start crying, which is so possible. But I think that would be the surrogacy shoot that I did not too long ago. A particular one, this one, um, she reached out to me because of my own story with infertility, me and my husband. And I think she did that because you can work with people who are very insensitive to that because they didn't experience infertility. Like they don't know what that looks like because, hey, I wanted to get pregnant. We tried a couple of times and we got pregnant, right? But for somebody who, is struggling with that, somebody who is around people all of the time, especially when you are in that season of wanting to have a child, everyone in your life is in that season. Like everyone's getting married at the same time, right? So, like you usually your friend circle.
Right.
So when you're surrounded by people who are like, "Oh, you just need to pray more. You just need to drink more water. You just need to relax. It'll happen." Or, "Oh, just X, Y, and Z." Or you need to hurry up and catch up because we're all having kids and all of our kids need to grow up together. Meanwhile, this person understands that whatever's happening with their body or the body of their spouse, like it's not so easy for them. And that dream is, made harder to achieve when adoption costs 50 grand or like, surrogacy costs 50 grand and IVF also costs 25,000 and then it's a a low percentage of of it working, but you do it because you want to have a kid. all the emotions, all the craziness. So when she worked with me, there was so much intention, like, on our side with the posing, the composition, what we said when we were on meetings with her. You know, she wanted to have the surrogate in the shoot, and we had to think about where the surrogate would stand, how we would pose with her, how many photos that she would be in, like the emotions that she's having now and how those emotions could change later on, right? As far as like what she may want and what she doesn't want.
Right.
So that whole experience for me was one where like you really need to know people. You need to be aware of so many, like as many experiences as you can, and understand people's emotions where they are, even if you haven't experienced something. Because when that person is coming into your studio and they're trusting you, being photographed is a very vulnerable place. And to be able to truly connect with the camera and to be completely comfortable, that person that you're trusting yourself, like the hands of that person, if they cannot connect with you because they are insensitive or they don't understand, especially in the world of like maternity and like newborn and all of that, where women are going through like really crazy things, right? You can be a maternity photographer, you've never been pregnant, right? And you say the most insensitive things to your pregnant client because you just don't understand what they're going through. I haven't carried a child to term, but I take the time to understand what a woman will experience when she's in birth or what she feels or during her pregnancy, the types of experiences that she'll have so that I don't say the wrong thing when I'm photographing her. So for me, that was like a very impactful shoot because it really helped me kind of see like, okay, God, like I went through this and I see all the different ways I'm able to bless others.
Well, I feel that given your experience with it, you were the right person to be able to manage that moment. Because to your point, someone who wouldn't have lived through that could have said something that was very insensitive and tarnished that entire moment where it's just celebrating something that is going to be impactful and meaningful for them, for life, essentially. Um, I'm curious. You mentioned maternity, though you do a lot of different types of
Yeah.
photography. What was what was your catalyst? Why maternity?
Because so with me not being able to have a child naturally, right? My husband and I, women as they grow, depending on like whatever they romanticize in their brains or what their experiences are in life, I romanticize the idea of me being pregnant. I romanticize the idea of me having a child from my body and experiencing that. And when I see other women, in the beginning it was hard because it was like, man, I'll never get that. I'll never have that, right? But we adopted our daughter. We went through a process of foster care and everything. And my my desires changed because my priorities changed. Because I was like, okay, there are children that are here now that need love, right? I don't need to have a child that comes from my body in order to take care of a child, to have a child that, grows in our home and that we raise and that we love on and all of that, right? To nurture. But when I am photographing a woman who is pregnant, all I want to do is turn her into what I see in my brain. So pregnancy is magical to me. And what a woman experiences in the way that her body sacrifices to create a human being. That's why when I photograph women, I like to take them to a different world because, like, it's just what I see. And the reason why I like to elevate them and photograph them in ways that is powerful and sensual and beautiful and feminine and all of that, it's because it is like the most beautiful thing to me.
I appreciate you being vulnerable like that. Um, did not want to make you cry.
It was gonna happen. I said it before we even got.
I know, I know. The You can tell that you're outpouring this love in your work and to the expectant mothers, and even with your own, by adopting, to your point, there's a lot of kids that you love, and you're now outpouring all this love that otherwise would have gone elsewhere. The What I find fascinating about the maternity, I don't think I could ever photograph maternity because I can't connect. It's not because I'm a man or anything like that. It's just I don't have the lived experience. My wife is pregnant. We've had kids. I understand that aspect of it. But the pieces of work that you create, you're leaving they're keepsakes. They're timeless keepsakes that they may hang on their wall. It might be an album, might be et cetera. And it'll be hopefully passed on from generations to generations to generations. I hope that's what they do.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. What legacy are you hoping to leave behind with your work?
I want to leave behind work, not just like portraits, different types of pieces, whether it's painting, sculpture, because I love art in so many different forms, and I want to be able to master them all. I want to, and my passions in celebrating women of color. With my work, I try so much to break what society says that we are and what we're worth, what we can do, what our limits are. And I want people to be able to look at my work and like, to be empowered. I want women to be empowered, especially women who are of color, Black women, because of the things that I went through when I was younger and what I see in our world. Like, I want women who feel that way and people in general to feel empowered by the work that I create.
I do believe that. Again, I don't need to make you cry. Uh, yeah, I would say that from everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard, because people have mentioned you to me before, I didn't say any of that. Uh, they speak very highly of you, and not just because of the fact that the work that you put out, but just as a person, as an individual. It's very motivating talking with you, and that's why I wanted to talk with you because of everything that you're doing. And we were talking about earlier that the artistic side of me loves your style. The Would I say the David LaChapelle
Yes,
type of
love,
look, minus all the crazy weird stuff that
which I love to.
that he does. Um, the You were also, in addition to being an artist, you also are an educator. And can you tell me a bit about your workshops? Because you offer coaching, you offer portfolio building. What are you hoping to accomplish with that when it comes to empowering other artists?
I I want to like remove roadblocks. I understand that there's like so there's two things. One, there's a method. Like if you're an art head and you weren't taught a process, then you may have a really hard time taking what you have in your brain and putting it down on paper or on a screen and organizing it in a way where you can follow everything in a linear fashion, right? Rather than you like jumping from here to there. A lot of us have ADD in a way we all do. Yeah. So, um, like teaching a process is something that I think is really important. And because I went to school for architecture and interior design, I taught a process. I've, made it more into my own, but what I learned in school is really helpful for me now. So people who didn't go to school for that, right, and or just have a hard time following just a line to get to point A to point B, I want to be able to show them how to do that, but I also want to, like, right now I'm really trying to paint. Like, I keep saying this to everybody because it's like something that I need to do, and me saying it is like reminding my brain, when you get home, Sophie, you need to paint. But I keep buying canvases and I keep buying paintbrushes and I keep buying paint, but I am so afraid of throwing the paint at the canvas. Like, to just go at it, I keep finding excuses. I keep, you know, talking myself out of it. I want to encourage other artists who are afraid, who feel like they have to watch me 15 times to make a set on YouTube or whatever before they do it. I want to encourage people to just like get their hands dirty because that's the only way that you're going to start. You have to start. Don't care about you messing up. Don't care about it not being perfect. You putting your hands down in the whatever it is that you're going to create is how you're going to get going.
I would agree. It's funny enough, my talk was about embracing imperfection because we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. I made mistakes during these live streams multiple times.
Mm.
My audio was not working. It happens. And to your point, sometimes you just have to start.
Yeah.
Whatever is holding you back, just start messy
Yeah.
and just see what happens after that. Because then maybe you'll keep doing. You need to start painting.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
What do you want to paint though?
Women.
Okay.
Women in flowers. Ooh. Women in flowers in different ways. Um, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that will be, and I've done a bunch of mock-ups on my iPad and whatever else. But I have some projects that I'm gonna be working on, and when I get back home, I'm going to start painting.
Help me. Do you have any of your paintings published, posted anywhere online, or are they just
No, no, because so I've always loved painting, but it was never something I took seriously because in my brain, it was a career that I couldn't have, like, I couldn't do. But it was the same way about photography until it wasn't, right? So with art, I love the idea of being able to create what comes out of my mind and that being something that lives in someone's home or in a museum. I love the idea of somebody looking at it and trying to understand it, to become affected by it, right? I love that idea. Um, so as far as what was your question again? I was getting to the
Oh, no.
answer.
No, the question was if your work was anywhere, and I wanted to figure out if you were gonna showcase your paintings or if they were more for you.
Okay. No, they are I want my work to one day be in a museum. Like I want my work to live on. I want other people to see it, to be affected by it. So I don't want it to just sit in my house.
Okay. That way people ponder on it and wonder what made you do whatever it was, whether women, the flowers, and whatever else comes from that.
But I want the story to be understood in the work.
Okay.
So like there's a artist that I really love. Her work, her name is Flora Yukonovich. And she takes um like Rococo art and the themes that are in that when it comes to like women and women's bodies during that time and what was appropriate, what wasn't appropriate, what people thought of women or whatever else. And she takes paintings and she turns them into something that is more abstract. And she also challenges what society says about women and their form and them hitting puberty and their bodies. And she does it in such a way where even though it's abstract, like when you're looking at it, you feel that. Like you see the paintings of her flowers, but the way that they're deconstructed or the colors that she uses, like you feel the emotion and you understand what she's trying to say. So I want my work, anything that I do, like I really want the story and the message to be understood.
That's good. That's good. That way they get it. They're trying to ponder. I'm the opposite. I'm not a painter, but when I did for school, my stuff was weird and no, like what is going on with this guy?
I would like to see that.
I have to find it. I have to find it. Are you speaking at any upcoming conferences?
Yes. So we are going to be at WPPI. We're also going to be, we might be doing something at imaging, but we're not speaking officially at imaging. We'll also be speaking in Sweden at, but that's actually a workshop. So it's not a conference, but we'll be speaking, not Sweden, I'm sorry, Norway, Oslo, with Dana Cole. We're really excited about that. And then we have some other things that we're talking about for the remainder of the year. We're also going to have our own shootout,
Nice.
where we're going to have multiple sets, people coming in, shooting so that they can build their portfolios, and then get direction from us while they're shooting.
And this is in Atlanta, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Last but not least, where can people find you online?
So they can find us on our website, which is www.sophia-barrett.com. And then, of course, on Instagram, Sophia Barrett Studios, YouTube, Sophia Barrett Studios. So everything pretty much has our handle, Sophia Barrett Studios.
What about your education? Is that also on the same website?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Was there anything I could have asked you that I didn't think to ask you?
Uh, well, my right hand human being and best person in the world is well, my husband, who makes this happen and all possible. He's in the background, so people don't really see him all that much, but he is why this is working and running. Because I am an artist, so I like to just get in my little, hole and bunker down. But he's definitely somebody that I wanna make sure that I talk about and I mention. Um, and then I don't think that there's anything else that you could have asked me that I wouldn't have cried. Oh, so I think we're good.
We just met and I made you cry. Well, Sophia, I really appreciate taking the time and I look forward to seeing what you have coming and eventually seeing your paintings. So get to paint.
Yes. I'm excited about that too. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
having me.
And thank you, everybody. I totally ignored everybody online live streaming. It's okay. Great conversation. Thank you, everyone.